Right then, so in 2019, Cobra have had their best ever year with driver, with the F9. Phenomenal driver, didn't make it into my bag, but an absolutely great driver, loads and loads of sales. But what are Cobra gonna do to improve on the F9? Well, they're gonna go faster. Hi guys, Alice Taylor down here at Living Golf Academy, and today I'm going to be testing the new Cobra King Speedzone drivers. So like I said, F9, absolutely phenomenal driver, massive sales, really good performance, and at a great price point. So definitely I think caught a lot of the other manufacturers off guard with the price point. Now the good news is the new Speedzone drivers, so that's what Cobra are doing. We're not just improving by going to Speedzone, we're actually going for 2 new drivers this year, maybe aimed at slightly different golfers. But let's have a close-up look at the 2 heads. Let's talk about the new technology in there, and then most importantly, let's hit them and see if they really perform. Right then guys, so if this is your first time down watching my channel, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. I hope you're enjoying today's content. If you are, consider clicking the subscribe button, but remember to ring that notification bell and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. But for now, let's check out the new Speedzone drivers from Cobra. Right then guys, so like I said, actually 2 new drivers from Cobra. So we have got the Speedzone and the Speedzone Extreme. Now that sounds impressive, doesn't it? So let's have a close-up look at the heads. Let's talk about some of the new technology in here, what it's kind of potentially going to give us in performance, and then obviously let's hit both and let's see how they perform. So we're going to start with both of the heads. The big key technology this year is the club face. So we're talking about still CNC milled, but it's now an infinity face which then wraps itself around the top of the club, the sole of the club, and slightly around the sides. Cobra are able then to mill 95% more surface area. That gives them the ability to control the thickness better. It's making the sweet spot 22% bigger. So obviously if you're not quite in the middle, we should still see lots and lots of ball speed out of both drivers. So like I said, the big talking point for this year is that infinity face. And I'll be honest, I think it looks super impressive. You know, it feels great, and I think it looks really good. So there's a lot of tech on the inside of the head as well, and there's a new chassis inside. So they're able to put 50% more carbon into the heads now. Now this is huge because when they're able to move that weight around in the head, again, they're able to make more forgiveness to the driver. So certainly you can see the carbon crown. And I think when you put the driver down, I think it looks really good. And certainly when I put it against F9, I love the fact that it's a little bit cleaner looking this year. I'm never one for massively fancy on top. So I think they've really ticked the box nicely with Speedzone. As we move on to the sole, we've still got obviously the movable weights. So just the Speedzone has got the 2 weights. It's got a 14 gram and a 2 gram. And the aerodynamics, when you look at the club from the back, you can really see where they've kind of gone into some real depth there to try and maximize club head speed. Now, like I said, I'm always a little bit skeptical with the club head speed thing. I think in wind tunnels you can obviously see the reduced drag. I'm just not always 100% sure myself when the club is moving around the golf swing, how they're able to get much more out of it. But we'll see when we hit the shots and see what the performance is like. But Speedzone, very much with the standard model, may be aimed at that guy who's looking to get the ball up, flying, low spin, and get it going out there, but good forgiveness. Now, the second option though is Speedzone Extreme. So they're both 460cc. Again, infinity face, you know, different chassis, 50% carbon. But there's only one weight in the Speedzone Extreme, a 6 gram weight fixed at the back, and there's also a 17 gram weight near the exhaust ports at the back. Now it's a slightly different shape head, and when you do put the 2 drivers down together, even though they're both 460, The Speedzone Extreme is definitely longer front to back, looks a bit bigger, and I think maybe just looks a bit more forgiving as well. So maybe the guy who isn't the best ball striker with driver, Speedzone Extreme is going to appeal for him. So still got the adjustability around the hosel, which is great for when you're going for those fittings, get absolutely dialed in. But both these drivers ram-packed full of technology. I'm going to just pop the numbers up that I had for F9. I've hit a few before, and we saw my carry was 265, just under 289 total, and my ball speed 157.6. So for me, what we're looking for is, do we get more out of these than F9 gave me? Right, so we're going to start with Speedzone, and like I said, I think behind the golf ball, I think it looks great. It looks a bit more of a classic driver. You can still see a little bit of that tech in there, but instantly a better looking club than the previous model. So let's see how it feels, and let's see how it performs. Oh, I do like that. Now, probably for me, the reason F9 didn't get in my bag is I wasn't keen on the feel. Just for me, it felt a little bit dead. There was still great performance, but that, even first shot, feels lively off the face. And I like maybe that just slightly louder sound. Makes me feel like I'm hitting it further. So, straight away, that first one felt great. Oh yeah. It's not even 2020 yet, and we might have a contender for my new driver. So, we can see some of the shots coming up on screen. I'm not going to hit loads and loads because I know pretty much what I would expect to be swinging driver at, and I'd be interested to see what the numbers come out as. Oh, I love that. I do love that. I think Cobra have done a good job with this. So I think staying at that price point, straight away they've got golfers' interest. Definitely looks like it's performing. We're going to look at some numbers, but definitely looks like it's performing. And like I said, looks and feels. I don't want to say the best I've ever had for a driver, but it's right up there for me to start with. Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Yes. Now this is only a sample. Do you think Cobra will be upset if I don't send it back? Right, so that's the Speedzone. So let's have a look how Speedzone performs. Okay, so we saw average. Good solid strike, little bit towards the toe, which is generally my strike pattern. 264 carry, 289 total. So, not really any different. Ball speed 157.8. Again, not really any different to F9. So we look there at kind of how optimum that was for me. I'm 2 yards off on my carry and I'm 3 yards down for absolutely perfect. But my little orange marks there, lining up in the blue, so absolutely what I'm looking for. The key then is if I can generate more club head speed myself, I'm going to hit the ball further, but that is just ticking all the boxes for me. Right, so Speedzone was phenomenal. Love that. Not from a performance perspective, because it's still just maxing what I can do. And I'm realistic, you know, I always feel bad saying this for the manufacturers, but we can't see those massive jumps that we used to see. So what we're always looking for is just getting those slightly less good ones closer to the good one. But that was great. Now Speedzone Extreme, definitely going to be a more forgiving driver. My little concern for me would be, will I spin it a little bit too much? But definitely looks bigger behind the golf ball. If I'm being honest, it doesn't fit my eye quite as nicely as the normal Speedzone. But it still feels great. Oof, yes. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because, I mean, for me, I like the idea of something more forgiving. But then, with the face being like it is and the sweet spot being bigger, even the normal Speedzone is going to be a more forgiving driver than F9. I'm just turning those over a little bit to begin with, but still feel good. So just for me, my only personal thing is I'm just not as keen on the shape of this driver, but I still think it just feels like the other one. Yeah, absolutely love that. Right, let's have one more, because I could literally stand here all day hitting these drivers. I won't, because it's cold and I'll get tired. But come on, one more good one. Again, nice. Do like that. Right, so let's look at numbers. Speedzone Extreme. Right, so 261 carry, 289 total. So no massive surprise, we're around there. A little bit more ball speed, and I would just say that was those left ones, me just a little bit less loft at impact, therefore ball speed jumping up. And we can see 262 carry, 289. So again, very, very optimum and really giving me exactly what I would need. Right then guys, so performance-wise, they do exactly what I expect them to do. I think, you know, for me, if you get fitted properly for driver, I think most of the drivers now will perform very, very similar. I don't think you ever see anything that really, really jumps out. But I think it's about, nowadays, more forgiveness, so keeping that ball speed up on the miss hits, and then hopefully you're not having to buy a driver nowadays where you go, performance was good, but I wasn't as keen on how it looked or felt. I think you're able now to kind of tick all the boxes and get that perfect driver. And definitely for me, both of those perform great, but I preferred the look of the Speedzone, and that's definitely going to be a consideration for me going into my bag. Great drivers, like I just think you need to get along, hit them, but I think 2020 will be even bigger for Cobra than 2019 was. I don't think anybody necessarily with an F9 will change this, but I think they're going to take another big share of the marketplace. Another great addition for this year as well, Cobra continuing with the Cobra Connect. So we've got the Arcos Caddy in the top of the grip, so it's that ability then for you to be able to measure how far you're hitting your drives. When you've teed off and you get to your ball, you can then track how far you've been hitting driver. Cobra are also putting that in all their irons, fairway woods and hybrids. So it's a great additional way of tracking some data for your game, see where you need to improve. Great feedback to give to a coach as well. And I'm actually going to do a full review on the Arcos system, but I think this is really, really good, and I think it's just an additional extra bit of value that Cobra are putting into a great driver already. Right then guys, so when we looked at numbers there, I mean, for me, not a massive surprise that we didn't really see much of a change at all in performance. I think F9 was very, very good. You know, when you're hitting them fairly centered, you are going to get that very controlled ball speed. A lot of the manufacturers now talking about that extra aerodynamics to try and get more club head speed. If I'm being honest, I'm not seeing it. But the big thing for me that I loved with Speedzone, that definitely ticked the boxes over F9 for me, was performance was still very, very good, which is obviously what you want. But I definitely preferred the looks and feel. So when you're looking to tick all the boxes, for me now Speedzone ticks all the boxes. So that could be my new driver for 2020. We'll have to wait and see. But I think if you get down, get fitted, one of those two drivers will definitely perform great for you. Still going to be at a great price point. In the UK, we're looking at £349. So it's still, I think, got the edge on price on the other major manufacturers. It's got the performance, it's got the looks, it's got the feel. It's the perfect driver, really. Absolutely perfect driver. But get along, get fitted, hit the drivers side by side, see which one works best for you, and put the one that's best in your bag to help you play better golf. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you've enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, click the button, ring the notification bell, and you'll find out when I drop a new video. Follow me on all my other social networks, all under Ali Taylor Golf. hopefully catch up with you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.